Good afternoon, everyone. Taras here with TBest Services. Today is the day to show you how we fit in between employer and an employee. So everyone knows an employer is always looking to hire for different positions. Now, an employer might have an HR generalist, recruiters, depending on the size of the company. But sometimes, what do? They seek help from staffing recruitment agencies. Now, when people go, first thing what they do? First thing, they go and apply online. Once they apply online, they don't even look who's hiring. They just apply because they see the description of the job. What happens after? People are sitting down and waiting. And they're not sure. Oh, where did my application go? Let me check who I sent it to. Oh, I sent it to this organization. What do? So, this process should take between an hour to 24 hours maximum. When you fill out an application, and we have here people, what do? Number one, fill out application. What do next? Number two, maybe within an hour to 24 hours, follow up. Number three, following up means not only by email, but one, email. 2, call. 3, this is a measure that most people don't want to take nowadays, but go to see who you submitted application to. Now, this is just one of the few options to do it. What I'm telling you is, you already applied for a job and you want to know your answer? Guess what? Fill out an app, 1 to 24 hour follow-up with who you fill out an application. By emailing, by calling, by going to see who you submitted an application to. Because sometimes what happens when we post these jobs, and a lot of companies do that, they utilize recruiting partners, staffing agencies. What happens? We post a job without an employer's name. So, people get upset. They think it's fake. Could be, but this is where we come into play. Staffing agencies, we receive anywhere between 100 to thousands resumes a day. If you don't follow up, your resume is being tracked by applicant tracking system, and nowadays is being graded by AI, most likely, because a lot of people using AI. Now, that doesn't say that there's no humans working there. It's just that nowadays we're entering a new phase in our lives. 2025, AI is present everywhere, and AI grades your resume. If your resume is not good enough, is not up to date, or is not matching requirements on the job post, it will be automatically eliminated. Most people say, but I'm a good match. Take time and do your resume. Update it. What was the last skill you learned? What was the last time that you went and did something proactively and you haven't recorded on your resume? If you've been sitting home, nobody needs to know about that. You could have taken some courses. You could have taken some certifications. Update your resume to the most current time. Because if you don't update it, and if you do not make sure that it matches the job description, this ATS with AI will throw you away. So, you as a candidate sitting here waiting, and if you didn't follow up, you could wait for a long time. And it's not because that everybody is ignoring you, it's because when you get here, there's 1,000 applicants for one position. Now, that's why I recommend 1 to 24 hours follow-up. Email, call, go to see who you applied with. That's a very untraditional way nowadays, and a lot of people will say, oh, I'm not going there. Who are they? I don't even have an office. Oh, find out. It will take you 30 minutes to find out what you're going to be waiting for 3, 4, 5 days. Now, employers, from here on, they don't receive 1,000 resumes. We, as a staffing agency, as a recruiting agency, we send them pre-qualified. So what do employers receive? They receive qualified and pre-screened staff. So what happens? From 100 to 1,000, we go to maybe 1 to 5 resumes. As you can see here, 1 to 5 resumes. If you're not following up, by email, call, you will never find out. To begin with, if you do not update your resume to match that candidate, not the candidate, but the job description, then you're going to be taken out immediately. Now, most of the people say, they call and they're like, oh, we've applied, but we never heard back from you. Your organization is not present, or your organization is a liar. You could put it on the organization, you could put it on the employer, you could put it on a staffing agency, on a recruitment agency. But I'm going to tell you from experience, if you do not update your resume to make sure that you have been certified for any of the positions that you're applying for, if you haven't updated with the keywords, if you haven't put anything on there that has to match and pass through these two guys, your resume is not going to be visible. Now what happens? You are a very qualified person, but you haven't done it. You go to here, and from here we pick only 5. Now, again, saying it third time on this video, most important thing is follow up. You are the one who needs to follow up. Employers or staffing agencies are not going to follow up with you because they don't see this as a priority to follow up with you. We screen the candidates and we make sure that the candidate fits the job description. Now it's up to you. Do you do it or you don't do it? How you do it, when you do it, it's also your decision. But you're taking away from yourself. Now employers, once they receive these resumes, their step is they schedule interviews. Their schedule interviews might be, first one is Zoom, second one in person. Again, once the interview is scheduled over Zoom, go and learn about an employer. Learn what they do, how they do it, how long they've been in business, what are their qualifications, what is the mission statement of the company. If you do that, you will feel comfortable during the interview. If you don't, you will be very, very, very stressed out, which you don't want to do. You are an amazing candidate. You should receive this job, and you should learn before you go into the interview about the company. What does the company do? How does the company work? What are the hours? Minimum stuff. Location. Show the employer that you're interested to work. Show the employer that you learned about. Once this happened, step number 3, offer and start employment. Now, this is a short version. This is very short version. If you look on this board and you don't understand what you need to do, recap. When you apply for the job, follow up where you applied. If it's a staffing agency, you need to know that they're receiving a lot of emails and a lot of applications. So if you don't update your resume, if you don't now make sure that your resume is matching the job description, your resume will be kicked out without even looking at it. Let's say you've been picked, 1 to 5 people been qualified. Make sure that you know about the employee. Employer is key figure on this. What will happen if you don't do all of it? Let's say you filled out and you do not know if it's a staffing, you don't know if it's an employer. You sit and wait. Now if you do this, nothing will change in your life. So don't sit and wait. Be proactive. Make sure that once you start applying, you actively apply. Make sure that your keywords on resume match the job description. Make sure that you follow up. My personal favorite is not only follow up by email, call, go. See where it is. You know, it's an energy thing. Once you show up, you might meet that hire in person. I know you'll say, oh, it's a headquarters, there's a lot of people. I know. Show up. See where the location is. See where you're applying for. See who is walking in and out. Be proactive. Without proactivity, there's nothing that staffing agency, recruitment agency, employers cannot do for you. We need to make sure that you are proactive on your end. Now on our end, as a staffing recruitment partner, we will help you be proactive. Once we get your application, once you follow up with us and say, hey, have you received it? We take a look at that application. That application is already bumped up to the first in line because you did make a phone call, because you did email. So if you like this video, subscribe, follow us on YouTube. Make sure that you put comments what you think. Maybe I said something that you didn't like. Maybe I said something you did like. Either way, put your comments. Let's talk to each other via this amazing platform and see how we as an employer, as a staffing agency recruitment partner, can simplify this process. Maybe you have an ideas that you could give us to simplify and make it easier. And your next idea is our future. So, talk to us, Taras with TBest Services. Thank you for being here. Sorry for my handwriting scriptures here. I am working on my handwriting. It's a little bit uncalligraphic, but I promise you, the more I do it, the better it will be. Or I will switch to a whiteboard with computer. Everybody have an amazing rest of your day. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Let me know what you would like to hear about hiring, employers, partnerships. I'm here for you. Be best, connect the best. Have an amazing day.